Vancouver Real Estate Blog.
Welcome.
I'm Vera.
I'm Wilfred.
And what are we discussing today?
Today we're talking about the market update for this month, which means last month.
Yeah, so in case you guys don't know, essentially our real estate board here in Metro Vancouver puts out some statistics every month. And as realtors, we anxiously wait to get to take a look. And we're excited to share with you guys a bit about what we saw, but also I think some of the things that we've seen in the past month here, kind of breaking down that information a bit more for you. You know, we're not analysis, we're not
economists, we're not basically data.
This is just our humble observations.
Exactly.
And again, we're excited to share with you. If you have any questions, let us know, and ultimately we'll talk a bit more about that hard data. So let's get started here. We want to talk about benchmark pricing. Benchmark pricing from the MLS for all residential properties in Metro Vancouver is currently sitting at $1,155,300. So that's a 3.9% increase over September from 2021, and surprisingly an 8.5% decrease over the past 6 months. It's also a 2.1% decline compared to August of 2022. So if you want to kind of explain what that means.
So that's basically some of the numbers of what happened last month. And so in September, the buyer demand was below Vancouver's long-term average, and the sellers were surprisingly a bit more active, you know. And so according to the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver, residential home sales in the region was 1687 in September 2022, which is a 46.4% decrease compared to the recorded one in September 2021, and also a 9.8% decrease from the 1870 homes sold in August 2022. So we're going to talk about what all those numbers means in a bit, but we have some more numbers for you.
Yeah, just a couple numbers to round this off. Last month's sales, as we mentioned, were 35.7% below the 10-year September sales average. Andrew Lee, the Director of Data Analytics and the economist for the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver, stated that with the Bank of Canada and other central banks around the globe hiking rates in an effort to stamp out inflation, the cost to borrow funds has risen substantially over a short period of time. And the results, that we saw from this was that buyers are finding it more challenging to purchase homes, and subsequently the number of home sales is dropping because people just can't afford the same prices that they could previously. So the MLS had 4,229 homes listed in September, and those numbers include detached, and condo properties. That would show an 18.2% decrease compared to the homes that we saw listed in September 2021, and a 27.1% increase compared to August 2022.
So those are the facts and numbers from last month. Now we're going to give you our thoughts on those numbers. Amira, what do you think about the market and what those numbers, what do they tell you?
Yeah, so it's always such a big question when people ask me this, because I don't know about you, I'm sure you do as well. I get asked all the time from people, if you're doing an open house or in the elevator, it's always, so what do you think about the market? At the end of the day, like we said, we're not economists, we're not data analysis. That's not our profession, but just what we've seen over the past while here is that those homes are starting to accumulate because the interest rates have risen so substantially, and so buyers don't have the same income source to be able to spend on their homes. The mortgages have gone up incredibly compared to what they were even a few years ago. And then in addition to all of this, what we're seeing is that the sellers are slowly starting to drop their prices, noticing that buyers are not willing to pay the same premiums that they were earlier in the year. But they're kind of lagging behind a little bit is what I've noticed. And so we'll see those continuous price drops on new properties coming out. And buyers are sort of waiting until it hits that lower price point, and then they're jumping on it. So any properly priced home, from my observations, is selling right away. But if it's priced even a little bit too high, people are holding out and they're just waiting for that kind of decrease in price.
Yeah, that's a very interesting observation. And to add to your thoughts, I was going to say also that investors are feeling it, especially because cash flow is a big thing for investors, right? They want to see their positive cash flow. I know in Vancouver it's very, very rare, especially if you put 20% or less down payment. So I'm sure with a recent interest rate, because as you probably know, in BC, we can't really increase the rate of a rent by anything until there's a year or more in the lease, right? Or during the term of the tenancy. So which means that basically investors are sort of like locked with the current rent that they agreed upon, and like everything happened in less than a year. So right now they're already feeling it through the cash flow. So we might see more investors going on the market. As we talked about the numbers, there's more listings, significantly more, over 30% more listings compared to last month that came on the market. So which means that we're already seeing it. And summer was a good time for people to travel. They were probably not thinking about selling or buying or doing anything other than enjoying themselves, which is what I did as well a bit. Yeah, so I think we're gonna see more of that. I don't think we will see like a crazy active market, but like we talked about, the sales to active ratio, we're technically in a normal market, right? Between 12 to 20%, we're balanced. Right now it's at 16.9%. If it's over 20%, which was majority of the past 2 years, that was a seller's market. That's why they had the most control. That's why we saw subject-free offers a lot and multiple offers and all that stuff. And if it dips below 12%, then we will be in a buyer's market, which I don't know if we're going to reach that anytime soon. But if we keep going with the interest rate hikes, there is definitely a chance that we will go in that territory. So that's a little bit of what I've seen. And in terms of resale, so in terms of pre-sales, we've visited a few, quite a few in the past couple of days, couple of weeks. And what we've seen is that big developers or some developers are giving more incentives because the buyers are holding, so they are seeing more incentive to purchase, even though the prices hasn't come down, but they have more incentive, which could be a good opportunity for investors because they're not affected by the rates and the building completes in a couple of years. So that's it for today. There's a lot more stats and numbers and that we can share with you, which would just make this video too long. But how can they reach out to us, Amira?
Yeah, so our contact information is in each of our YouTubes here. So feel free to reach out. We're happy to share, especially if you're interested in a specific market. If you want to talk about, Kitsilano, Richmond, anything like that. The statistics we talked about today were kind of an overarching theme, and it's really important to understand what's going on specifically in your neighborhood. But unfortunately, it would take us all month just to record the videos for all of those. So just let us know. We have all the information for you, and we're happy to even send it over if you guys are wanting to receive an email from us with that as well. Yeah,
that's a great point because each market, each property type has a different number. Yeah. So this was, like Amara mentioned, is just a general overview.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for our next video. We're going to be discussing interest rates with a mortgage broker as well and having him come on the show. So we're excited to have that for you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
All right.